So, as far as this idea of the totem, uh, from what I read in the Wikipedia, the totem had was affiliated with taboos, taboo behavior, taboo feelings, those which are inappropriate or for some reason illegal or wrong. And this could be very similar to my coming to awareness that insurance companies are not always on my side. They're, by law, required to be on their own side to do what is for their benefit. Now, this could benefit me in certain instances, and I'm grateful for my society. I'm grateful for what we're working towards. But what I'm getting at is that I'm looking at all these social endeavors, all these social constructs, businesses, and the characters of life, politicians, economists, priests, lovers. These can all be totems as far as I'm concerned. And they can be totems of others, and be these other people may not be aware of it. They make their job their totem, their life purpose, and become possessed by it and don't have a moderate amount of detachment. The thing about a holistic view with sound evaluations is that there's good and bad to everything. And with this incorporation of the taboo or the bad, we don't take the good too seriously. And often we fool ourselves into thinking things are better than they really are, and this can cause all kinds of trouble. This is an inability to incorporate the taboo, the negative, the non-life affirming. And as far as political upheavals, it may very well be a refusal to embrace one's own dark elements, one's own negative tendencies. And then those negative tendencies are projected onto another. And if that other person is not aware, they could take on that personification. They can believe that what they are told. Like I was told as a young boy, you need to trust the people of authority. And then my experience showed me that no, that's not really smart thinking. There's all kinds of phrases coined, like question everything, question authority. However, it's the internal realization and understanding that gives the weight, depth, and meaning to the external behavior. So we could change the external behavior just by telling somebody this is what you got to do, but that doesn't mean that the typical problems in life will be resolved just because we demand of them to behave differently. I guess on some level, if some behavior is adhered to, many problems could be resolved, but that doesn't mean all problems will be. And ultimately, I think that there is a desire in our human selves to want to learn. And so just being told the answer doesn't necessarily mean we will use that answer appropriately. But as far as the totem goes, I'm getting I've had a few totems, if you want to call them, in my active imagination where I realized that there are certain aspects of my being that erupt. And in order to come to terms with this, I have learned that I have to make a type of safety zone where I can engage just in that issue. And then in engaging with that issue, I come to terms with it. I learn how to work with it. but I'm reminded of Nietzsche's statement somewhere where he said, "I'm afraid if I exorcise all my demons, my angels will leave me too." And in this idea is the seed thought that the magic and wonder, the value of the good is in direct relationship to the bad. So if you take the bad away, the value of the good has nothing, has no value. It loses its value. It gains its value in relationship to the bad. So if you had nobody breaking the law, there would be no cops. Now, it's obviously ridiculous to think that way, but there are plenty of cops that think they're God's gift to humanity, when the fact of the matter is they would have no value without the people that they're condemning to jail or a ticket or whatever, you know. And all these struggles are what they are, and we all get a little, you know, full of ourselves. You know, that saying, power corrupts, and you know, there's all these terms and phrases that hint towards this stuff, but ultimately it's that inner realization that transfigures us. However, if we don't stay attached to the world and our life that we're living, and the magic and the wonder that's unfolding, that we're learning and discovering all the time, if we become too detached from it, then it loses its value. We just analyze it to death. So in my work with the totem, personally, my own personal totems, so to say, I have recently been able to observe the world with all of its monuments, all of its civilizations. It's as if a civilization is a totem. All the negative aspects are there, and if we only see what we want, then we're only going to have a partial picture of it. And this is all too common because we can only integrate what we're ready to integrate. This is why the whole internal process is so important, is that we can, you know, integrate all these outer things, but it's within us. And I think there are some that are outward turned. They learn quite a bit about the world on the outside, and they can actually baffle us with bullshit, all kinds of information. But the true weight, depth, and meaning felt with passion and vigor and vitality, there's a bit of that lost. So I've found, you know, we want to be possessed so that our angels have a reason to exorcise those demons, you know. It's the battle between heaven and hell, the battle between the good angels and the bad ones, you know. It's that same old struggle within. But yeah, it became very clear to me that, you know, for instance, I've had difficulty with insurance companies. They became a type of totem that I was unaware of. I didn't want to integrate, or had a very difficult time integrating just how flawed, in my instance, they have been. But ultimately, this just has to do with, you know, what is the role that I am playing in relationship to insurance companies, so that I can change my behavior. If I can become aware of it, detach from it somewhat, I can transfigure myself. However, I have to come to terms with the fear of losing faith. And I think that that is a whole other perspective that is very important to my growth.